you could be like showing part of the coolest kitchen ever and then cut the video off right before you get to like one of the coolest spots, like where they can just barely see it, because you know the comments are going to be, wait, I wanted to see that wine fridge. Or
ladies and gentlemen, welcome to The Walkthrough, the most underrated, valuable marketing podcast in real estate history. I am 𝐿𝐸𝐸, aka the Broke Agent, aka the Great Meme Beano.
Ooh,
Jason?
I like that one. No,
Okay.
That's much better than the previous weeks.
Okay, good. AKA the Colossal of Carousels, AKA the King of Clicks. And I'm joined here by my co-host, Jason Cassidy, AKA the Strategy Shepherd.
Not bad.
Thoughts?
I give it like a 6.
Okay. I'm kind of running out of these things. Or what
It
about this?
It doesn't work on Jason or Cassidy though. You're just picking up words now.
What about the chief of shifting strategy?
No,
that doesn't work either.
That's like a 4.
Okay, perfect. Anyway, we are joined here by a very, very special guest who has absolutely been crushing content, the queen of hooks. Ladies and gentlemen, the wonderful Tessa Bella, aka trend-setting Tessa. How are we doing, Tessa?
That was a better one. I also am very curious to know which one of you rookies has a phone with your ringer on, because I heard somebody dinging in the first couple seconds. And
that is a rookie podcast move.
That was Jason.
He is banned from the show. Okay, today we're going to talk about the TikTok ban, speaking of bans, that might take place this Sunday, what it means for real estate agents. And then we're going to get into how to build a community around your real estate brand, how to take the people on Instagram and Facebook and put them in an actual community, and what sort of content agents should post when they get a listing. Tessa has 6 things that I want to dive into that strategy. So this is going to be an amazing show. Make sure you leave a like. Or actually, you know what? Leave a comment. Let us know what you think about the TikTok ban. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, and that will provide a ton of value. Oh my God. What the hell's going on?
What's going on?
Yeah. Hello, everybody. It's a stick up, and I'm back, baby. What's up, everybody? Did I scare you?
Who the hell allowed this? This is Dan O'Neill coming back in the show. Danny Deals. This is a stick up. Oh my God. Already off to a hot start here. Ladies and gentlemen, it's good to have Danny Deals back on the show. And Dan, welcome back. How does it feel?
Big Dan, we missed you, bro.
It's a little bit hot, not going to lie, with the ski mask on, so I'm definitely going to take this off. But it feels great to have a new mic, a new setup. It feels good to be back on the show. You guys have been crushing it, and I'm excited to share all the things that I've learned in these last 4 months.
Hell yeah.
Welcome back, Dan.
Welcome back. You sound good.
Take this off.
You sound good. You look good. And for that commenter, 𝐿𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸 he goes, "Where's Danny Deals? Where's Danny Deals? I missed the banter with Danny Deals." So welcome back to
Wait, leave that on. You got the Lamar Jackson post game conference
Exactly.
like ski mask thing going on.
I was suffocating, if I'm being totally transparent. So
Well, the hair looks good. Setup looks good. All right, let's get into the show. We are going to lead it off with this TikTok ban. So I kind of want to break this down because the fate of TikTok and its 170 million US users depends on a Supreme Court decision regarding the constitutionality of a law requiring ByteDance, which is TikTok's China-based owner, to sell its US operations by January 19th. If the law is upheld, TikTok could effectively be banned in the US. That is this Sunday, folks. And I don't really know, and we'll get into your guys' thoughts on this, but I think it doesn't immediately disappear from your devices. You can still access it, but it's going to be becoming increasingly difficult. And according to experts, users may need technical workarounds, possible VPNs, as they're doing updates and stuff. The app may become buggy. And from what I know and what we were discussing earlier, I guess new users are not going to be able to get on TikTok. So if you try to download TikTok after Sunday, if it does get banned, if that is upheld, then you will not be able to download it. I have some thoughts on this, but I want to start with our guest, Tessa. I'll lead it off with you. The TikTok ban. Are you glad this is happening? Are you angry this is happening? What do you think this means for real estate agents? Because I read some stat today that 1 in 6 real estate agents use TikTok to generate leads. So let me know your
Wow,
thoughts.
that's actually a lot higher than I expected because I see a lot of real estate content on there. I don't see many of them using it for what seems to be anything related to business. So that's a little bit shocking. I personally, and I have been saying this for quite a few months now, I do not believe that the TikTok ban is actually going to happen. And if you would allow me for just one quick moment here.
Oh, we've got a tinfoil hat.
Wow,
Conspiracy,
we
conspiracy
got
Bella.
a lot of props here today. This is
Dude,
I
Tessa
have
Jones in the
well
house.
prepared for this moment because I do not think that they're actually going to do it. I'm a big believer that like when something big happens and they're trying to push this out in the media a lot, it's usually like to cover something else up. So I think that TikTok is like something in the front. You know that especially Trump talked a lot about like tariffs and all this stuff that he plans to do as he steps into office. I think that TikTok may be somewhat of a negotiation tool, but more so a cover up for something much larger that's going on. That's point number one. Point number two is there's also a lot of people there's also a lot of people that can overturn like what's going on. I know the Supreme Court is like the ultimate of the ultimate, and so the president can't necessarily overrule that, but he can do what's called a he can wait, I actually wrote this down because I didn't want to fumble this one. It's an executive order to block action. So he can do that, and then it reverts back to like Congress and the states to start making the decision on what's going to happen moving forward. So long story short, it's kind of a ridiculous concept because they all just keep passing back and forth the actual decision. But needless to say, in short, I think that means that it's not going anywhere. And of course, we're also hearing lots of people who are potentially going to buy it. Mr. Beast just came into the equation. We had Frank McCourt, who I believe is like the owner or partial owner of the Dodgers. We've had Elon Musk, of course. We've had all those kind of conversations. So I just simply don't think it's going anywhere. And I want that to be on record so that when it stays around, everybody can remember me in this form saying that it will still.
Well, Tessa, I think that's
Yeah.
a great idea there, and the globalists have something to do with it as well. So thank you, Tessa Jones.
It's the frogs. It's the
if
gay
Frank
frogs.
McCourt, if Frank McCourt and the Dodgers buy TikTok, I've had enough of the Dodgers buying every single player known
Everything.
to mankind, and the Yankees have absolutely no chance if that's the case. And then they own social media too. I will be absolutely furious. Danny Deals, thoughts on TikTok being banned? Is this going to affect you at all, or have you been building an omnipresent presence on social?
It's going to affect me in the fact that I'm not going to see the conspiracy theories any longer, and I'm no longer going to be doom scrolling, where I'll find somewhere else to doom scroll. But I think if TikTok gets banned, it's a reminder that you don't own your social media platforms; you rent them. So, like creators and businesses, it's a kind of a cue to like diversify. Even though we've been saying this for forever, I feel like this is deja vu. So it's important not to rely on one app. Build systems that survive, like emails, email lists, or newsletters. Platforms will change, but your ability to adapt is going to determine your success. So for real estate, for specific, TikTok's organic reach made it easy to connect with like younger buyers and that demographic. But without it, right, it's time to now focus on YouTube Shorts or direct engagement strategies. And it's just evolving, right, the same way that it always does. And it's important to adapt. So focusing, and I believe it is going to happen, if it does get banned, you can leverage other short form platforms, double down on Reels, YouTube Shorts, Facebook Stories to maintain a presence in your short form content. Repurpose the TikToks or your existing content that you had on there for other platforms. Don't let it go to waste. Like Ryan said, he downloaded all of his data, and start building a community that you own. So create an email or an SMS list, broadcast channel that we'll get into, newsletter, and invest in long form content. So I think that it is important to focus on all those things now. It's a really good reminder that you can't just focus on one platform. And the trend for 2025 is like, I think influencers are going to be gone. I think that brands now have realized that they are actually their own influencer and they can be an influencer. So if you go on TikTok and you see like all these trends that are happening, you'll see like Costco, like the main account will like comment on the post and like make a Gen Z joke, you know? So I think that now you're able to build the brand even easier. And I'm excited to not doom scroll on TikTok.
Same here. Jason, what do you think about this TikTok ban? Do you think it's coming, and is it going to affect you?
It won't affect me too much. I like TikTok from a like a personal use. Like I use it more. Like I get really creative ideas when I'm on TikTok, but I don't really use it for business. I just kind of just repurpose my Instagram stuff over there. I have spent probably like $100 in ads over there just to test the platform. But I don't care that much, right? Like ultimately getting away from short form into YouTube and stuff like that was always on my goal for this year. That being said, one thing we haven't addressed is that ByteDance also owns CapCut. And if the ban applies to CapCut too, I would be pretty sad about that because I use that on almost every mobile video that I edit, right? So if we lose TikTok, we have Instagram Reels, we have Facebook, we have YouTube. I could probably get my creativity somewhere else. If we lose CapCut, that kind of sucks because now I have to go learn a new mobile editing platform.
I don't think that CapCut is a part of the deal because
Are you sure?
It is against ByteDance as a whole, but the argument is more so over the like data discussion. And there was some sort of like amendment about the fact that CapCut, which you may have noticed, I don't know how much you pay attention to CapCut's like interface as a whole in the last 6+ months. They have detached a lot from TikTok specifically. It previously you logged on and it was like almost as if it was like a secondary TikTok platform. They've made changes, I think, to make it much more just of like an editing app. And I believe that one would be safe. But I did also come prepared that a good alternative is the Captions app. That had a time where it shined before you could add captions on pretty much any app, but they recently, or somewhat recently, added in a lot of the video editing features. And I downloaded it the other day, and it functions very similar to CapCut.
It's called the Captions app?
Yeah.
Okay, so everybody download the Captions app. I use CapCut almost on a daily basis, so that would be devastating. Go ahead, Dan.
A few other ones too are Prequel. So I save like a preset that I have like the yellow fonts on, and Mojo. So those are two other free apps that you can just save a preset and it's the same thing as CapCut.
Prequel and mobile and the Captions app.
Mojo.
So if you are
Mojo.
if you're currently on TikTok right now, and that's where the majority of your audience is, or you just have a big following on there, there's a few things you could do to try to get people onto other platforms. Obviously, call attention to the fact that TikTok might be deleted and that you post content other places, right? So if you have 100,000 followers on TikTok and only 1,000 on Instagram, I feel like your strategy for the next 72 hours should be follow me on Instagram, follow me on Facebook, follow me on LinkedIn. Like, here's the sort of content I'm posting there. Here's why. I assume TikTok probably suppresses that content, and it's not content people necessarily want to see, but you kind of have to do that, right? I've been doing this on my Instagram account for 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure you follow my Facebook page, or I used to link to TikTok from my Instagram account, or I'm constantly linking to email. So always use your platforms to link to other social apps. Also, something you should do is you should download your data and save your videos. So if you want to download your data, what you should do is you go to Open TikTok, you tap the profile at the bottom, you tap the menu button at the top, then you tap Settings and Privacy, you tap Account, and then you tap Download your data, and you select the data you want to include in your download file and select a file format, and then tap Request Data. So everybody should download their data, download your videos, because like I think Tessa said, you can repurpose these videos for Instagram and another app called RedNote or something. If you hop on one of these,
have you guys downloaded the Chinese version, the RedNote?
Absolutely not yet.
No,
yes, Eric. What do you mean? Yes, you have. You're such a liar.
No,
Eric's still on. What's the app when you take a picture for like 1 second? Be Real.
Be Real.
You're still on like Spaces and Clubhouse and Be Real. Don't tell me you're not on.
I wish I was, honestly. Clubhouse was fun. I kind of miss just popping into like audio only stuff. I think people should bring that back, actually, even though
let's bring it back.
Yeah, we should.
I've actually heard there were some predictions. I follow a couple people who do social media like predictions and trend predictions, and one was saying that she actually believes Substack and platforms like that are going to have a larger impact in 2025 because people are less inclined to, because like when you have Substack, people are really plugged into what you have to say. And so there's less room for the bullies and the people that jump on and just say like, you're ugly, this is stupid. And so it may be a smaller segment of people, but it's people who actually care what you have to say or actually may want to transact with you. So I'm kind of curious to see if that becomes more of a thing. I've never thought of Substack really as like a social media network, but I'm curious if they start to add elements that kind of cater that direction with some of these changes.
You know what
there'll definitely be some consolidation into, Instagram and Facebook and YouTube, if that's the right word. Like, all the people on TikTok obviously have been building Instagrams, or a lot of them, but this is good for people that have large Instagram followings or large YouTube channels or large Facebook followings, because it essentially is wiping out, if this happens, a huge platform. I'm glad it's happening. I want TikTok to get banned. One, mainly and strictly for personal reasons, because it distracts me nonstop. I'm not getting any content out of it in terms of, oh, this is a good content idea, I'm going to use this for another app. I get enough of that on Instagram. So all I do is go down a TikTok hole for an hour, completely waste my time. I'm not posting content on there. Memes don't perform well on TikTok. I'm not really showing my face as much on the Broke Agent page. So it's just a pain in the ass. And it's like something that's always bothering me. Like, I should be growing an account on TikTok, but I'm not. So for personal reasons, I am very happy that this is happening, or that it might possibly happen. I hope it gets banned. I really do.
Same.
It's a pain in the ass. I don't want it to exist anymore. I built the following on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and email, not TikTok. So for me,
Well,
get it banned.
you do sound bitter, but I have two quick things on the last kind of ending note here on TikTok. Is I think that whether it does or does not get banned, I do think that in the coming weeks, we'll see a massive surge of viewership and engagement on Instagram. So whatever happens, I think that if you are on Instagram, which I'm assuming everyone is, I would spend this time to double down on the content that you're sharing there and the quality of the content you're sharing there, because there's the people who are scared that it will get banned, who are going to plug into Instagram more. And there's the people who are like Eric, who are cranky and are just going to be on Instagram in the first place anyways. And so I think there will be more viewers and more activity there. So that's a great time to use it. And I think, Eric, you mentioned like now would also be a great time to try to direct some of your viewers from TikTok to a different platform, much like we do when we do these green screens for blogs and direct people to BAM to read the full thing. Like, if you were to just go and post a reel or a TikTok and say, hey, go follow me on Instagram, it probably wouldn't do very well. But if you showed part of your day in the life and then you say, hey, if you want to see the full thing, come check out the longer video on Instagram or on YouTube, and you kind of like tease that content, is a great way to cross-pollinate your different platforms in a way that's not so direct of just saying, go find me on Facebook or go find me on Instagram.
Yes, that's a great point. It's proof over promise also in terms of actually showing people. So if you could say, like you said, if you want to see the rest of this post, go to Instagram, but showing this is the sort of content I post on Instagram that I'm not showing here. You want to see the behind the scenes of real estate? That's what you get on my Instagram stories. Or you want to be a part of my community? Join my Facebook group. Always give them a reason as to, hey, I'm not just posting the same stuff that I'm posting on TikTok. It's completely different over here. So that's the TikTok ban right there. Possibly happening this Sunday. Could be absolutely crazy. This has been rumored for years. But it's like anything, right? You can't go all in on one platform. We've been saying this for years. It's like going all in on one cryptocurrency. If I had all my money invested in Thorchain and XRP goes up 40% in a day, and I'm sitting here in something that's been sitting at $3.30 for the last 4 years, I'd want to blow my head off, right?
This sounds really, really.
I would.
Spot
that
on.
sounds.
This-
If I went all in on TikTok,
it's oddly
think about,
specific, Eric.
Think about the Glenda Bakers of the world. She grew on all platforms. Like, she crushed it first initially on TikTok, but she kept uploading to Instagram, Facebook Reels. I'm sure she has stuff on LinkedIn as well. Like, she built an omnipresent platform.
The TikTok metrics, I feel like, were such like vanity metrics. Like, they would like pump a couple of videos, like give you fake numbies, just so that way you would like get that dopamine hit and keep posting and continue to be on the app. I would love to see something like Vine come back, like where that's like actually you have to be creative. Those 6 or 8 second videos. Let's bring back MySpace. You know what, Eric? Let's bring back LimeWire. I'm sure that you're still listening to music that you were downloading on LimeWire in your car on a CD right now.
Lollipop remix.
MySpace was
Safe
my
sex.
first business. Actually, coding custom MySpace pages was how I got my start as a young budding entrepreneur. I charged
love it.
$3.
Have you ever heard this line? Safe sex is great sex, so you better wear a latex because you don't want that latex that I think I'm latex.
That was
So
fire.
wrap it up.
Bars.
But he's so sweet.
Bars, son.
Okay.
Bars.
That was one of the
Damn.
sickest lines ever. Shout out to Lil Wayne. Let us know in the comments what you think of the TikTok ban. By the way, iconic. We should start every single walkthrough with a little lighter or something like that. Shout out 𝐌𝐨𝐬𝐚𝐢𝐤. Okay, topic number 2. We are going to get into how to build a community, which actually flows perfectly into this. Of yes, you can build on other platforms, but how do you actually collect those people into a community? We talk about the importance of this all the time. Dan, you are doing it in a phenomenal way on your broadcast channel called Better Every Day. So I'm going to kick it to you. What are you doing in your broadcast channel, and how could agents implement it into their social strategy?
Thank you. I appreciate that. So I started the broadcast channel as a way, I actually was on the show when we all did it about a year ago, and I didn't really utilize it the best way because there's so much that you can do with it. You can do it for different listings. You can create one for content. You can do it for just a regular community. There's a lot of different options, but I've learned so much in these last 3 or 4 months in joining Sirhan, and I've kind of had a low profile. So I wanted to be able to start sharing some of it with the intention of giving without receiving, and just see if people uh, caught onto it and were interested, and it worked out. So what I loved about it was there's direct access, so I could communicate with everybody, like, and directly with them without battling like the algorithm or even having to comb through my DMs, because a lot of stuff gets lost in my DMs. You guys all know, same thing. It was a way to build a community, so like foster exclusivity and loyalty within side of it. Provide like real time updates. So I was sharing market trends, sharing what I was working on, what was working. I was getting higher engagement. So I think because I was doing threads and I was doing the broadcast channel, Instagram was just pumping me with engagement and organic, followers and views, and it was very cost effective, right? So I was able to reach my audience without actually spending any money. It was authority building, so I was posting out regular updates on which positioned me as like an authority figure or a position of a trusted expert. And I was also testing content, so I was putting stuff in there that I wanted to post to see if it would actually do well, and I was sharing the behind the scenes or ideas to repurpose later. And I loved it too because now you could actually have moderators in there that like will help with all the things. And so I'm putting in like polls up there. I'm asking what people want to see. I'm going live, and it's just it's been a lot of fun, and I'm excited to see that people are actually in there.
Yeah, I saw in your broadcast channel you posted a poll recently. I think it was about what people want to see in the broadcast channel. I just did something similar on mine saying, what platform do you guys want to grow on the most in 2025? Is it Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, whatever? But polling your audience is such an effective way to make them feel like they're involved in your content, and it actually helps shape your content strategy. So if you say, "Hey, do you want to see more real estate photos? Is it behind the scenes? Is it announcement videos? Is it jokes? Is it
Yeah,
whatever? Is it hyper local content?" And you see that 80% want to see hyper local content, that's going to show you like, oh, my audience wants me to do these restaurant reviews and stuff. So I
yeah.
think that's very effective. And the broadcast channel, for people that don't know, I just want to read what it is real quick. It's an Instagram feature that allows creators to send one-to-many messages directly to their followers, where to share updates, behind the scenes, and other information in real time. It's basically like a one-to-many message. I
Mhm.
have one called Marketing Tips. You should name it something. Dan mentioned that you can make multiple broadcast channels. So you could have one that's just, listing previews,
Yep.
market updates, whatever you want to do. But that helps. It feels like a real community because
Yeah.
those are your most engaged followers. And it's another way to just take your Instagram following and move it somewhere else.
Eh,
Tessa, you just go ahead, Dan.
Well, I was gonna say, and
As
the
with
last point of, oh, sorry.
all you, my
Go
guy.
ahead.
Yeah, I'm gonna put my tinfoil hat on. I was just gonna say the last point of it was it's incredible to see. Like we all have a lot of followers, but like the actual people that are engaging every single day are the ones that are in there, and makes it a lot easier to get to know them. The reason that I really started doubling down on it was the last 3 months. I was thinking of like what are going to be the trends for 2025, and how do I get ahead of it? And I kind of saw the TikTok thing potentially coming down the pipe, and I've never posted on TikTok. Like I don't get any views, so I started to do the YouTube Shorts and build. How can I build a community? And that was the answer. And some of the trends that I'm seeing are like you see those retro style fonts. VHSs right now are like the number one selling thing like in the world, which is crazy. I bet you Blockbuster's coming back. Like instead of it being like that very like the white kitchen and aesthetic, like very sterile, you're seeing like those earthy tones come back. You're seeing like so I just started studying the trends, and I just try to get out in front of it. Sorry, Tessa.
Blockbuster, you walk in, you get hit with that wonderful scent. You go rent Big Daddy and then Crash Bandicoot for N64. Those were the good old days, huh?
Don't forget the
The
red
good old
vines.
days.
And the red vines, exactly. Tessa, when it comes to community, you are building one outside of Instagram on the school platform. So can you break down what that is and why you're doing it?
Yeah, I have been building a free community on School now for about 5.5 months. We actually just hit 1,000 members, which feels like a big
Nice.
win. And as with every community, I want to just like a little asterisk here. For such a long time in this journey of building it, I would get down on the fact I'm like, okay, we're only at like 250 members, we're only at 300 members, and it would start to feel like discouraging at times. It's much like content. Sometimes you'll post something, it doesn't get the views that you're hoping for. But when you truly do think about how many people that is on a grand scheme, it's like, that's actually a lot of people. And more importantly, that want to plug in, want to give back to each other, hear what you have to say, all that kind of stuff. So I think emphasizing the importance of community is really cool, especially in a world of more and more digital. Everyone wants somewhere that they feel like they belong and that their voice can be heard and that they can get feedback and support. So I've been building it on School. I personally love that platform. I think it'll continue to change over the next couple years, because initially it was sort of like, okay, this is the new Facebook group. But the difference is people go on Facebook all the time to hang out, to see who's pregnant, to like update their relationship status, all these things that people do on Facebook. People don't just go on School just to hang out unless they're intentionally going into a group. So there's a much higher level of intent of the people on there, but at the same time, it's not yet in most people's social media rotation. You know, when you open your phone, you check Instagram, you check Facebook, you check your email, you do these like couple things, couple apps that you check every time. That's not yet something that most people are adding into the rotation. So as it becomes one of those things, I think that platform will continue to grow. And I'm just having a freaking blast growing a community. I think it's really cool when you do start to hit that stride and like get the opportunity to hear from people what they like, what they want to have more of. I mean, much like Dan was saying, it can be used as such a tool in your content, but also just in a way to connect with your community, both locally and nationally and even internationally.
And if you want to join Tessa's community, we will link that down in the description. 1,000 members. That is no small feat. Congratulations. I mean, Jason, we did this initially with Refer, our referral group. We're doing it with BAMX. Use code WALKTHROUGH, 10% off. Get into BAMX, social media templates, email templates, courses, trainings, community, office hours. Get in right now. Link in the description. But like, why would agents do this? Because you're thinking, well, you guys are content creators and agents. Dan's showing behind the scenes stuff. Tessa's educating agents. We had a referral network. But if you're an agent, you could create a community in your community, right? It could be all of your clients. People do client Facebook pages where they're updating them on events, or they're connecting them to different vendors or handymen or people that are opening businesses. So if your community is on a School or a Facebook group, probably a Facebook group for most agents, because that's where most people, like you said, it's in their daily app rotation. If you have a Facebook community of just your clients and you are the person that everybody is there for, and all you have to do is kind of foster that community, posting there once every couple of days, update people what's going on, connecting people, and people get to say, hey, I met Tessa because I was in Jason's community. That's just such a powerful thing. It's just like I met Jason at the BAM conference or something like that. It's like, well, BAM is the reason that brought these people together. So don't sleep. The easiest way is broadcast channels on Instagram, because that's just a tighter knit community, but then a Facebook group. Jason,
you know what
what are
Dan
your
does
thoughts on this?
really good on the broadcast channel too? Because like, so how many followers do you have? Like 70,000 or something like that, right? Like just on Instagram in general.
Dan has
so
83.7 thousand followers.
There you go. 83.7 thousand followers. And so like there's a smaller knit group though.
How did you just know that up there? Like, how did you just rattle that?
He just has a live ticker in his office.
What was that?
World Series winners and Instagram followers, two things, they stick in my mind forever.
That's I've also been stuck there for like 5 years. So that's.
But like, think about it. Dan probably has a lot of real estate agents that follow him just because of all the skits he's done, all the stuff he's done with broke agents, stuff like that. But for a certain extent, like I don't necessarily always care about like the most recent sale that his team did, which is stuff that he needs to post, though, social proof. I don't always care about like neighborhoods in Long Island per se, but like I really, really want to know what ChatGPT prompt he used to do his business plan, because I'm really interested in that. And so having that segmented into the broadcast channel makes me want to check that broadcast channel more often, because it's very specific. I know exactly what I'm getting. And not to mention, broadcast channels aren't super saturated yet. Like, come to think of it, I think there's only like 4 that I follow. There's your guys' both. Sharon has one. And then like, I think like Katie, like I'm just trying to think offhand, like broadcast channel. Tessa, do you have a broadcast channel?
No, I take no offense because I don't have one. I've started a few and I just was not my vibe. So I let them free. And they say if you love something, set it free and it may come back.
You
But,
sound
we spend
bitter,
so much-
Tessa. You
Yeah,
sound
you
bitter.
sound bitter.
Uh-oh. There's a war. We spend so much time on Instagram and like we've seen the same real estate content over and over again, but like in a broadcast channel, we know specifically what we're going to get. So it's a little like specific hit of dopamine that we know we can go get, and it's not super saturated. I really, really like that. And then what Tess is doing with House of Agents and the school community, that's money. Like you just talked about, Eric, with the refer network that we built for 2 years, like referrals were the main component of that. But like we knew that if we could build a Facebook group and a community on the back end, people would come back for more, whether they got the referral or not. And so when you build these communities around something else, you're fostering like people stay with people, right? And that's where the money's made right there. And so whether it be a Facebook group or a school community or a broadcast channel, if you can take people and make these connections deeper, that you're going to win no matter how you do it.
Even if you're building agent to agent communities, like you said, for referrals. I know Marie Lee from Tennessee, I believe she had 2 broadcast channels. One was just a realtor only broadcast channel where it was kind of more tips, Instagram advice, and, cool content. And then she had a content specifically for the people in Nashville, another broadcast channel. So if you're an agent, you could break it up also. So moral of the story is, yeah.
Are you guys using the AI? Sorry to cut you off, but are you guys using the AI feature for DMs to like try to answer back and cultivate people yet?
No, not yet.
I haven't yet.
What's
the play? What are you leading into here?
Well, so like, how a lot of DMs go into like requests, or if you don't follow somebody back, you like it, just kind of blends in. The AI feature acts as you and will basically respond back, get what they're looking for. So whether it's a spam DM or if it's somebody that's looking to sell or buy or an agent, and then it like pins it to the top of your inbox and like gives you a description, or it just talks to the person and then it shares the analytics with you. So my bot has talked to 181 people in the last 7 days. I would never have responded to any of those DMs. So
is it meta AI? You have to turn it on?
Yeah. And then what I do is I give it like an auto response where if somebody asks a question related to real estate, it sends them the broadcast channel, like the link to join, and it says like, hey, Dan talks about that here.
I like
Gangster.
that.
I like
that. Yeah.
That's very interesting. I'm very curious. I received the most outlandish DM the other day, and I am so curious how AI would have responded to it.
You tell it how to respond
now.
He said, well, I'm assuming it's a he. It was one of those accounts with no picture. Said,
right.
Sure would love for you to locate these nuts.
Probably a guy.
So you can tell your AI.
Know what my AI bot would have said back to that.
Right.
You tell your
join
AI
the
bot,
broadcast channel
how to respond. Yeah, but like it can make jokes. Like you can make it satirical. Like you tell it what to say.
He would have said, "How about locate yourself into the neighborhood and let's see you on school."
Exactly.
It would just link to Ramon's account.
Just gives everybody his address.
Oh my gosh.
Exactly. By the way, Ramon texted me at the beginning of the year saying, text me insults every single day if I'm not posting content. So I texted him today because he just posted a great article on BAM. And I said, I don't want to say what I said because it was actually vulgar and disgusting. But anyway, he's going to do a green screen with it now. So he is.
No, that's good. You do need to bully him because I told him last night that I was coming on this podcast. And he said, when are they going to ask me to be on the podcast? And I said, well, you just don't insert yourself in enough things to have fun. And he said, well, if they don't want me, then I don't want them.
Well, we want him. We love Ramon.
Sounds like we have our guest for next week.
We got to bring him back. Ramon, you are welcome on the show anytime. We need to mix it up. Get off of these real people. Get on some EXP people. Anyway, if you are an agent like Ramon and you're looking to stand out from the crowd, Reminder Media is a resource you have to check out. You get your own branded print and digital magazines, email newsletters, and social media content. Reminder Media delivers these resources to your contacts on autopilot, keeping you top of mind with your database. All you got to do is focus on your follow-up calls and watch referrals and repeat business come in. There's a link down in the description for Reminder Media. Okay, let's get into some straight tactics here. Tessa, you just posted a blog, 6 things every agent should post when you get a listing. I would love for you to break this down, and I'm going to get into Dan's strategy and Jason's strategy. What sort of content do you post, or what sort of content should you post when you get a listing?
Yeah, and I also want to preface, because Jason and I were chit-chatting about this before we started the podcast. Some of this may be different in your local market because certain things are restricted of what you can and can't say. But for example, the very first one that I love is sort of a version of a who this is perfect for type of post. Now, in some cases, like Jason said, in California, you could not say that. You would be.
I wasn't even going to bring that up. You could say whatever you want. Just deal with the repercussions later. Ask for forgiveness, not permission.
If you said this would be perfect for a single mother, this would be perfect for a frat guy, you can't say that?
you can't in California. You can't say this is a perfect for a family.
Okay.
Like it's literally
This is
like
good
in
for
the
Delta
band.
This is
You
good.
can't, because it's
This is
fair
good for a
housing,
house
some
at
stuff like this. But
Tridents.
forget about all of this, because I think what Tessa's, we have a video, right? Do we have it pulled up? Because like this is such a good video talking exactly how to spotlight who this is perfect for, and continue to run with this. Worry about the repercussions later.
Yes, I also do love the phrase "ask for forgiveness, not for permission." I
Exactly.
was thinking more so who this is perfect for is like if you enjoy catching every NFL game at these kind of like local dive bars, or if
Mhm.
you're somebody who loves to wake up at 6 a.m. and show that you're better than everyone because you already did a hike and like those kind of things. And again, you could pull like fun humor into it. You could incorporate things that also highlight local areas. You could even turn now what is a listing post into something where hey, this new property just hit the market. It's just an awesome spot if you're somebody who does love to wake up and hike every weekend. In fact, I put together a list of 6 of the top hikes in Scottsdale. Comment below and I'll shoot it over. So now I not only shared a listing video, but I also have an awesome opportunity to capture new people who might be interested and could opt into my email list and potentially become a future lead.
Love that. Absolutely love that. What about the teaser post, the neighborhood spotlight post, behind the scenes, if you could break those down?
Yeah, so the teaser post I think is, I mean, kind of goes without saying. It's just like when we do these cool, highly produced video productions showing the entire property, that's great. But talk about just showing like little bits and pieces that makes them want to ask for more. Naturally, humans are curious people. And so if you show something, and this is where it's always fun in social media because you could be like showing part of the coolest kitchen ever and then cut the video off right before you get to like one of the coolest spots, like where they can just barely see it because you know the comments are going to be, wait, I wanted to see that wine fridge, or like you just cut it off right before the best part. And now you can use that comment to reply with another video. And now all of a sudden you've got multiple pieces of content.
If you want to see this kitchen, head over to Instagram, where I will show you the kitchen. How about that?
Exactly.
Mm.
A
Exactly.
little callback.
Yeah.
And what about the behind the scenes prep for sale post? What does that look like?
So the behind the scenes one, I actually think is probably one of the best because, and we all know in real estate, it's really easy to, you're constantly working, like you're doing a lot of things, at least most people are, but most of your clients don't know that. It's still to this day, they're like, all you do is you post it up online and then you get an offer and that's pretty much all you've ever done. And so it's hard sometimes to show off truly what goes in behind the scenes to getting a property ready to list, to listing it, to hosting like broker caravans, to having open houses, to doing all of these different things. I think it's really fun to show the behind the scenes. And again, pulling in some of your own personality. I always, which I don't actively sell real estate myself anymore, but when I did, and I was freaking amazing at it, one thing I loved to do before an open house is I would incorporate local brands. So when I'm bringing in things for that open house, I'm going to local boutiques and having them give us a couple specific pieces that we can use as like staging in the house. And then we're featuring that local company. Same thing with florists, same things with like local bakeries. And so documenting all of these different pieces of, again, highlighting the community, that becomes not just one piece of content of the behind the scenes, but it could be another piece of content of here's our interior designer that we always refer clients to, and here's what she contributes to our open houses.
Very dialed today, Tessa. Very humble. But
Thank you.
Jason, I believe it's Lil Wayne who said, "Real G's move in silence like."
Lasagna.
Exactly.
It's
Right.
the
Okay.
tinfoil it's seeping into my brain, you know?
Exactly. Love it. Danny Deals, what about yourself? When you get a new listing, what sort of strategy do you have to post?
So the strategy has changed a bit and evolved with learning from Ryan and the people here at the brokerage. So the main things that we've been focusing on when we launch a new listing, it's not just about putting it on MLS and waiting for buyers to show up. It's about creating a buzz that can't be like ignored. And so the 3 key elements are storytelling, exposure, and exclusivity. So storytelling is like every property has a unique story, and it's our job to kind of share that and craft it. It's not just like, hey, it's a 4-bedroom, 3-bath home. It's we leverage the photography, the cinematic videos, and even AI tools to create like an emotional connection with buyers. It's what people, they start to feel something about the property before they even see it. Then we obviously have the maximum exposure, which is all the different socials. We've created exclusivity with all the different listings. So buyers and agents who want to feel like they're a part of something special, we've been hosting exclusive open houses, private launch events, or VIP showings. So we'll invite like top agents or brokerages, high net, worth individuals, just so that way they can come and experience it. And then by the time that it's actually live, it already has momentum. And then we've been using AI too. So AI has been an absolute game changer for us to work smarter, not harder. And we've been leveraging it in kind of like 4 or 5 different ways. So I'll just give you 2. Number 1 is like targeted marketing. So the AI that we use helps us identify the ideal buyer profile for a property by analyzing data like demographics, online behavior, market trends. And once we have that profile, we can then run hyper-targeted ads across all platforms to try and bring that buyer in. So it's not just about marketing, it's like precision marketing. And then the other one is predictive analytics. So AI can predict for us which properties are likely to sell quickly and what areas are emerging markets. And it helps us guide investors and clients towards like the best opportunities, I would say. So
Danny Bot right now on fire with the AI content. Jason, what about yourself? When you get a new listing, the hell are you doing?
Yeah, so we've got, obviously our SOP has like 17 points, right? And very similar to what these two are talking about. We get the new listing, we send out a pre-listing email in order to obviously prime the pump just a tad. You do the whole, I'm going on a listing appointment on Wednesday, and you send that out to your database on Monday. You get a couple people to raise their hand, then you bring that into your listing appointment on Wednesday and say, hey, I sent an email out to my database. We have 7 people that are interested in this house, even though you didn't say the address. And so you're starting to prime the pump. And then you get the listing. Obviously, we do a teaser and a neighborhood spotlight. Actually, funny that Tessa said that, because I'm going today at 2:30 to Pacific Beach to shoot a teaser and a neighborhood spotlight for a listing that we have coming the first week of February.
Yeah, exactly. Where are you going?
Not a
Pacific
3 favorite
Beach?
sushi restaurant.
My favorite beer.
Where are you going to go?
At these 3 spots. So, and then we go into, obviously, once we get the listing, we do photos, 3D tour, interactive 3D tour, and then the video. And then we do 200 just listed, just sold postcards around the neighborhood. And then typically our favorite thing is to double that up with a handwritten letter once we're in escrow. And so the letter can be typed up, but then we hand sign them and then trifold, put it in a handwritten envelope and send that same thing. So the postcard may just say, hey, neighbors, we're inviting you to this neighbors only open house. And we always do it like an hour before the regular open house. So instead of Saturday 10 to 1, it's like Saturday 9 to 10, and then 10 to 1 is neighbors only. And then once we get into escrow, we go into the storytelling. That's kind of what Dan was talking about. It's like, hey, we just, that house on 123 Banana Street, we just got that into escrow. Wanted to tell you a little bit about the story behind that house. We actually ended up with 43 tours. There were 7 offers. We ended up picking this great family. They're coming down from San Francisco, but that means we have 6 other buyers that we know are looking in this neighborhood. So if you're thinking about selling, reach out to us, right? So we try to pepper the neighborhood with as much information and storytelling about our sale, because also you're getting to show off the things that you did for the sale. And so we always try to get that stuff out. And then, of course, the regular type stuff too, where you're inviting the neighbors to the open house through door knocking and stuff like that. If you can, obviously we do Facebook targeted ads, Instagram, all the normal social stuff as well to get in front of the brokers.
Thank you for using 123 Banana Street and not 123 Main Street. I do appreciate that.
Which one got canned this year? Was it 123 Banana? Main. 123 Main. All right,
Main.
I'm switching to Banana.
Bananas this year. No more bananas in 2026. We'll get rid of it. What do you think, Tessa? Do you have a 123?
That'd be perfect for an 2025 ins and outs. Is in Banana, out Main Street.
Main.
Exactly. I got ice in my veins, blood in my eyes, hate in my heart, love in my mind. That's another Lil Wayne line right there.
Eric hasn't said anything today, just Lil Wayne quotes. Like he just talked this entire episode in lyrics.
Exactly. I saw him at the Tucson Convention Center in 2006. One of my first concerts, actually.
Wow. Do you still have Invisalign in? I've been gone for like a year, and it sounds like you still have your Invisalign in.
I do. I know. I said that the other day to Ann. I'm like, am I lisping all of a sudden? What the hell is going on? It's because when I talk so much, I have like built-in,
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Whatever.
Something's never changed.
Anyway, everyone, marketer of the week. Serious topic here. Marketer of the week. I don't really want to play anything. I just wanted to give a shout out to all of the LA real estate agents. I posted this on my Instagram that we are in a time right now where agents have this enormous spotlight on them post our settlement, and everybody uses agents as a punching bag. Everybody is shitting on real estate agents. My friends, people online, it's just like the butt of every single joke. And I've seen nothing but agents absolutely step up during these wildfires, whether it's sharing resources, using their platform, offering their services pro bono, calling out the price gouging. Jason Oppenheim Ben Belloc. We could pull up, Ben Belloc's green screen actually that he just did. He did a great collab with The Real Deal, calling all these people out who are just, exponentially raising rents. But the real estate community has really stepped up, and it's really cool to see. And I know this happens in places where disasters strike regularly, whether it's North Carolina for the hurricanes recently, Florida, it happens all the time. We had Candace Decker on the Overask podcast, and, a few years ago talking about what agents can do in their community. So if you're an agent in a disaster area, or this is happening to you right now, use the platform that you have, right? If you have a big following on social media, connect people to resources, throw links on your Instagram story, just anything like that does actually help, and showing that you actually care about everybody, right? I mean, this is a time where agents kind of step up as superheroes, and it's just been really cool to see in the LA community. I wish I could do more. I know we shared a resource page on nowbam.com that had donation links and kind of what happens to people's, mortgages and stuff when their house gets burned down. It's absolutely horrible. I've had 10 friends whose houses are now gone, and they didn't have their clothes. They didn't have just imagine the logistical nightmare, financial hell, emotional burden that takes on someone. So shout out the LA community, real estate community, for stepping up during this. It's been really cool to see. Yes. All right, everyone, that is an episode of the walkthrough. Danny Deals, welcome back. Great episode. Tons of great information. Go follow Tessa Bella. Go join her community school. Be the 1,001th member, 1,001 member.
I love by this time next week we'll know if her take on TikTok was right or not.
I know. I can't wait.
Exactly. Let us know in the comments if you have a TikTok and it's going to get banned. Is that going to destroy your business? Is that going to destroy your business?
Wish Eric a happy birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday to me. March 3rd coming up. 2 months. Jason, what do you have planned? What do you guys have planned for the birthday? The big one. The big 35.
You're only 35? You're only 34?
34, yeah.
Jesus.
Old. I started The Broke Agent when I was 25. I've been doing this for 10 years.
Oh man,
it's ridiculous.
Can you do me a favor? Can you call like a TaskRabbit and have them hang that wire that's dangling from your TV? Because it's been driving me nuts this entire episode.
I know. By the way, everybody, the studio
TaskRabbit to hang a wire.
The studio will be done by February 5th, which we are doing the Real Estate BAM Pro Bowl #2.
May I also
who's the mystery guest?
Oh,
I can't tell you that. It's a mystery guest. Maybe it's Trump. Who knows, right? Maybe it's Alex Hormozy. Maybe it's Lil Wayne. What were you going to say, Tessa?
I was just going to say, as the solo female on this episode, that I think it is my duty to point out as Dan gets prepared for whatever he's about to do. You are now less than 30 days away from Valentine's Day. So if you have a lady in your life and you have not yet asked her to be your Valentine, then it is now time to start preparing.
Tessa, would you ask someone 30 days before Valentine's Day to be their Valentine?
You have to ask them to be your Valentine
prior 30 days in advance?
No.
Well, I'm giving you heads up because I know most men are not proactive in planning. So I was doing
like
it
most men in this group? Do we look like most men?
Do we look like most men?
Do we look like most men in here?
Certainly you do not.
Thank you.
Dan's about to go door knocking with that thing on. All right, everybody. That's an episode. We'll see you next week on The Walkthrough.
There you go.